He's going to take Chris through how to prep his meals. I'm going to try to make it as simple, effective, and quick as possible. And so you guys can see what we do. So first things first, you have this and this. This is the cup measurement. You want to cook about at least 4 cups of rice. It comes out like that. Ta-da! Let's get 4 cups to start.
Now, should I go to the brim or should I?
That's correct, right at the top right there.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, to wash the rice, okay, so this is 4 cups. Okay, so I washed my hands earlier. Make sure your hands are clean. Stir it around, get any dust or dirt out of the rice. And pour the water out. But you want to be careful because you don't want to pour too fast. A bunch of rice will fall out. See how the water's still kind of milky? Mm-hmm. We want to do it about 3 to 5 times. So that's 1. After you rinse the rice, grab a towel and just dry the outside. Okay, and make sure it's sitting on a flat surface. And you can see we're trying to get the water up to 4 to match how many cups we put in. The outside is dry, going into here. Plug this bad boy in. Close it. Done. Rice is going to be cooked in about, I want to say 45 minutes. So the rice is cooking now. Let's work towards everything else. Okay, so Chris got the meal prep containers. These are really important to get. You can get them from Amazon. You can ask me for the link. Okay, let's get all the protein out. All right, so we're going to heat up the oven to about 375. Okay.
It's warming up.
Okay, good. So the oven is now going to be cooking 2 things at a time. It's going to be baking chicken and salmon. Okay, so while the oven is preheating, we're now going to set the parchment paper on the baking sheets, 2 of them. We're going to clean the chicken, lay down the salmon, and we're going to begin seasoning.
How do I know when the rice is done?
So look right here, right now it's uncooked. When it's done, this thing's going to pop up and the warm button is going to be on.
Oh, okay.
It's done. It usually takes about 30 to 45 minutes.
Good, that's it.
Yep.
So generally, I would want to do rice and protein first because those take the longest to cook. Okay.
Right. So the rice is first, that takes the longest. And now we go to protein. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
All right, so while the oven is preheating, then we get the protein ready. We start with chicken, okay? Usually comes in like 3 different packs like this. Each pack has 2. Now just try not to contaminate anything. Get the baking sheet next to you. And then we cut the whole thing. I'm gonna use it all.
All
6.
Okay.
All 6. Yeah. Just to make sure it's clean. Just be careful, try not to let water splash anywhere.
Wow.
Normally comes with 2. That's okay. Okay, now this is the first batch that you're gonna be doing for yourself. It gets faster, it gets easier. Now I can do everything in 45 minutes versus 5 hours when I first started. Okay, so the chicken's done. Then over here, toss all in a trash bag, wrap it up, and then make sure you rinse out. And now we get the salmon in here. Scissors, because you don't want to cross-contaminate the fish and the poultry.
And don't think just because it's going in the oven, it'll all cook off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Be mindful of that.
Yeah, just be careful because, yeah, raw chicken is no bueno.
Exactly. Side all the way. And now we cut this in half. So I cut about right here. Now both protein are ready. Seasoning. Okay, now seasoning, you guys. There we go. Ground garlic powder, basically. Chris is fancy. He has the Himalayan pink sea salt and the black supreme pepper. So I normally get the ground pepper already, so it's much easier to throw on, but this will do. So generously, it's going over just like this. So you Plenty good. Same thing with salmon. Pepper, put as much as you like. So I like pepper. If you're afraid of spiciness, just put a little bit less. It doesn't have to be hard, you guys. Remember, you're gonna be doing this for weeks. You wanna make the process simple. Create a system for yourself so that you are not wasting time, hoping that you'll get results. This way we go beeline to the results. Bam! Look at that. The oven's done. Once we throw this in, all these two are ready to go in. Garlic makes food smell, taste a little bit better.
And with these, you don't really have to, like the seasonings, you don't have to worry about the calories or
You don't have to worry about the calories. There's actually no calories in these. Okay. And you don't really have to worry about overdoing on salt because check this out. If you worry about bloating, you're not bloating because of salt like this. And you only have to worry about salt if you're competing on stage and trying to get to about 7% body fat. Okay, we're all just trying to get healthier. Salt makes your food taste good and it brings in the water so that you're not dehydrated when you exercise. You don't pass out. Okay, so that's done. Now it's going in. Now, I look at the chicken. The thickness, this looks about like 1.5 inches.
Yeah, those are pretty thick.
Okay, and this right here, salmon, is also about 1 inch and maybe 1/4. Okay, so I start right here, salmon probably about 17 to 18 minutes at 375, and then the chicken breast is also going to be 18 minutes. So what I do is, if I've never used this oven before, we start with the low end, like 18 minutes, and we check it after 18 minutes. If it needs to be cooked more, just throw in a little bit more.
Would you put the salmon on the bottom
Yes.
and chicken on? Okay.
Yep. Chicken's going in. Salmon's in there. 375. And then I use the phone. There we go, Chris. Let's start with 18 minutes and we'll check on both. Oh, Chris, what was your question?
Well, I like olive oil, like, because I've got a bunch of flavored, different kinds of olive oil. And you said that olive oil is very fatty.
Yes. So, guys, so olive oil is considered healthy fats, okay? Just like avocados, mixed nuts. These are healthy fats. For example, olive oil, one serving, I believe it's like between 110 and 140 calories. And that's just 1 tablespoon. Right, so normally we don't think about it, right? We cook salmon, chicken, ground turkey, and we just douse it in. By the time, before you know, it's 1/2 cup in. While that is healthy, you are racking up your fat calories really high. Okay, you are eating healthy, but you are now over in calories. Okay, so then healthy is almost irrelevant because now you're eating, instead of 1,700 calories, you're now at 2,000 plus. And then you're thinking, I'm doing the right thing because I'm eating healthy food, but then you're not losing weight because of all the excess calories. So always be accountable for what you're adding in. Use a food scale or cup measurements and know exactly what you're putting in. And when you get the results, you can always bring more, you can be more flexible with yourself and just like count less and less. So now I hardly count the olive oil anymore, I can eyeball things. In the beginning, we measure everything so that your eyes can get used to what the measurement looks like. Okay, this is 1 tablespoon, this is 1/2 cup. Now I know what it looks like, I can keep doing it. And it also helps when you go out to eat. If you're supposed to eat 1/2 cup of carbs or a full cup of carbs, you can eyeball things and not go over yourself. Mix up the ground turkey. Okay, we have a small saucepan, and now we cut up the bag, very top.
Now I measured exactly 1 tablespoon of my olive oil.
Very good. So that's completely okay. And guys, when you measure it like that, then and that's spread out over the entire prep, which is about like probably gonna be like 6 to 7 meals. That's completely fine. It's not gonna affect your body as much, and overall,
yeah, it's not just 1 serving.
Exactly.
So
exactly, it's not 1 serving for every single meal.
This was only 2 packs of the 4-pack.
2 of the 4.
So, someone.
garlic powder. Chris, do you have mustard?
Actually. Haha.
Perfect.
No, you're not measuring that either.
5 calories.
Ah.
Bam. Go nuts.
Now, is that the only thing you're looking at for like the mustard?
Yes.
Okay. No, that's because it's the only thing that's in there.
Right. So, and guys, the macronutrients, the reason why it's important because each macro has its own function. So protein helps recover and rebuild muscle. Okay, that's why you go to the gym, you lift weights, and when you come home, you eat the protein, it repairs, and you repeat the cycle over and over. The carbs gives you energy, so that when you're in the gym, you have more energy to push more weight, stimulate more muscle. The fat's gonna help metabolize your carbs and your protein. Also, it keeps you full, helps function with your other stuff like skin and your brain. So you need all those 3 things to function really well. Now, after we do your measurements, that's when I get a really good idea of how much fats, carbs, and protein you need for optimum performance and also body composition. It's not just eat as much protein as you can, eat as much carbs and fats. No, everything has to balance and adds up to that number. So now that it's heating up a little bit, I turn it down. That's why we're prepping all these out. And the reason why we have 3 different protein sources is so that Chris doesn't get bored all day eating chicken and rice the entire day. Okay, that's the idea. And plus, when you're done cooking, you get better. It becomes a gourmet meal every single meal. So you're now looking forward to your meal, and you're saving tons of money, and you get exactly what you need. So while the turkey is cooking, I have Chris getting the strainer and leaving it in the sink because the turkey's gonna go right in there. And all you need to do is just brown this whole thing. Okay, once it's brown, as soon as it's brown, put it in there because when you reheat it and eat it later, it will cook it even more. Okay, so it doesn't have to be super well done. It will be when you reheat it. And now he's working on the veggies and the toppings. We have mushrooms. Okay, if you love mushrooms, throw them onto your meals. Makes it taste so much better.
Okay. Here we go.
So timer, that's 18 minutes. Let's take a look. Okay. So you can see the juice coming outside the chicken a little bit. It's pretty good. If you're not sure, all you gotta do is pull it out and cut one of them and check it to see if it's cooked.
Doesn't look quite right to me.
Salmon, probably cooked already right there. I'm gonna take the salmon out. Okay. All right, so that was about, I wanna say 18 and a half, maybe 9 minutes.
No, well, we
check it.
checked it at 18. We left it in there for an extra minute and 20
Yes.
seconds or so.
And how you know too is a bunch of these juice coming out. That's when you know the chicken's good. So right here, can't really tell, but it's kind of whitish pink, but mainly white.
Yeah.
Like if you feel right here, it should feel like this. It's your palm. That's when it's pretty much cooked.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
And you can also check like the big one. So this one may need a little bit more time. Let's cut into it. See that? That's when you know that needs a little bit more time. Right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So the big ones, I leave it in there longer, but I'm gonna go ahead and take out the small ones. All right, so
Okay.
now that you got all the proteins in and the rice is done, check out the rice. Beautiful, man.
Smells good too.
Okay, and like, I mean, once you're done, you can just unplug. Rice is done, and then now we're gonna do the toppings. Okay, so I heat up the pan, medium heat, pan spray, and then wait till it's hot enough, then you throw in your mushrooms. You can also do onions, whatever else. Some people like garlic, and some people like to season their toppings, like myself. I like pepper, garlic powder. Okay, that's it, you guys. That's easy. That's done. Then it's prep time. Oh, and also vegetables. So you can do salads on the sides. So Chris bought a whole bunch of salads. Okay, I always have one container with me. And a full container.
Oh, broccoli.
Yeah, and broccoli. I'm gonna show you how to do that too. So one of two ways to do broccoli. The lazy way is put it in a bowl, rinse it with water, microwave it. Done. The other way, you can just boil it in a pot. I do it in the microwave.
You do it the lazy way.
I do it the lazy way, the simplest way. All right, so the mushrooms are done. That literally took about 3 minutes, and just to brown it, and then you're gonna throw it on top at the very end after you measure the main stuff, which is carbs, proteins. Okay. For your fats, Chris, so fats, you're getting fats from salmon, and you can also do peanut butter with your oatmeals in the morning. You're also getting some fats from your whole eggs as well.
Oh, we haven't done those yet.
So if you want more fats, we can always add a little bit of avocados. But mind you, all this stuff I mentioned is already pre-calculated in MyFitnessPal so that I know how much Chris can eat. Because he's male, he's about my height, just a little bit different weight. So I know, just because I have so much experience doing it, I know how much he can have per meal. But if you are following my plan, your plan may look a little differently. But the cooking is gonna be the same. Just gotta put them in Tupperware and then weigh them. That's what you're supposed to do. All right, and there might be some haters out there, but this is how I make my broccoli. Just pour them in here as much as you want to eat. Let's just say we'll start off with this. Okay, and we'll spread this out between a bunch of meals. This way you get to spread out your broccoli a little bit more. Okay, great source of fiber and also has some protein in it. Okay, you guys, so when it comes to vegetables, there's really not a lot of limit on them because it is some carbs, but it's fibrous carbs, meaning it's just fiber-ish carbs. Okay, it doesn't have, this whole thing right here probably contains 6 grams of carbs. Okay, if you become overweight, it's definitely not because of broccoli.
But I eat it all the time.
I love it, baby.
I eat it with nacho cheese.
I eat it with cheese and peanut butter. You're healthy, right? Okay, so that's most of it right there. Paper towel. Plenty good. This right here, 3 minutes in the microwave. And that's it. It's not hard. Once that's done, we're gonna open up all the containers right here. Okay, we're gonna start with the carbs. So Chris, I want you to go take this whole thing on your food scale, and you are gonna weigh out your rice.
Yay.
So for your height and stature, I want you to start with 150 grams per meal. One more time, right there.
Okay, grams.
So now he's gonna put the container on. So 32 gram weigh and then zero that. Perfect. And now, until all the rice is done. So over here, salmon's done. Chicken, mushrooms, ground turkey, and we're just waiting for the microwave. Go ahead and say that again.
If I'm
Chris.
like 149 or 152, I'm okay.
So the rule is plus or minus 4 is completely okay. We got everything in there. The toppings, broccoli, the proteins, the carbs. We got chicken, ground turkey, salmon, and was that overwhelming for you to get that done?
Oh, no, because you were here. And will I remember everything? I hope I do. But it was everything seemed a lot easier than what I had anticipated it being.
Very good. And you got it all done.
Yes.
And look at his fridge. Bam! Everything's packed and ready to go. So when it's time to eat, he'll pull one of these containers out, put it in a microwave for about a minute and a half. He knocks it down and move on with life. You don't have to think or recalculate where you are in your calories. You're already set for the day. And that is the beauty, guys, of having all your meals locked up. Great job, Chris.
Thank you very much, Pete. And thank you, Jen, for letting me borrow him for a couple of hours.
All right.